Good evening, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody, we're glad you're here. We have two additions to the agenda. We need to appoint a forest fire warden. We did the deputy, but not the warden yet. And we need to do a corrected San Souci agreement.
And also the,
You're on.
oh, thank you.
You're second one under new business.
Love it, thank you.
Okay, I have no remarks except I did see Connie Waite, for those of you who remember, been on the select board.
Oh.
And had a nice long visit with him yesterday. He's in town for a while.
Nice.
So he may be stopping in. Okay, open public comment for items not on the agenda. Yes, Mary Lynn.
I just wanted to comment on the tax sale
Okay,
last week. 2 of the properties did not go through with tax sale, they paid prior to. So we just had the 2 that were held at the tax sale, so those properties do have a year to redeem, so 2 did pay, so.
it was very well run. Okay, minute approval. Regular meeting minutes on April 1st. Jean?
I move that we approve the regular meeting minutes of April 1st as written.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Another second.
Motion carries. Warrant?
I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 20T accounts payable, $146,651.91. 13S payroll, $10,044.62. And 14S payroll, $17,383.67.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Garden care and maintenance contract renewal for the museum and annex. Heather Frost has given us a 3-year contract or whatever for $400, and that includes spring and fall cleanup, mulch, water and delivery of it, weeding and plant care, debris removal, mowing, weed whacking around north and south is needed, marking north garden for snow plowing, and replacement of perennials and annuals.
Do you have to do it for a year? Is that?
No,
I see she's holding to those prices.
Yeah.
It's always funny for me to vote a contract when we don't actually have the money those years.
it's a good point. You don't have to.
But it's fine. Apparently she's just gonna hold the prices, which is wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, because that, I think, was budgeted for $575, so we're in good shape on that one.
So what is your pleasure, board?
We do it each one separately.
Is that the,
Yeah, I guess so.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we accept Heather Frost's bid for the north and South Cemetery.
Well, that's,
Welcome signs.
Welcome signs,
In the garden.
Second.
Okay, is that for all three or for just one?
We
Jim?
should do the three
Can we,
and lock it in.
please?
All right, for the three. Or is there any discussion? We have a motion second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have the interior insect spray application. Jean?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept Heather Frost's bid for the interior insect spray application of the South School Museum and Annex for $155 for the next 3 years,
Do we have a second?
each year.
Second,
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, and then next is for the South School Gardens.
That's the museum, right?
Yes, that's the museum.
Madam Chair,
Jean?
I move that we accept Heather Frost's bid for the care and maintenance of the South School Gardens for 3 years at $1,600 each year.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And Conservation Land Opportunity, Charles Hill. Whoever's speaking to it? No?
I can speak to that. So at a gathering we had in December, I was approached by a person who said that his organization had put under contract the conservation of Charles Hill, which is a place I always wanted to visit, but it was always posted, so I haven't been there personally. He said that he would approach you in March, but unfortunately I received an email from him stating that they had other conservation priorities come up and they could no longer continue with that purchase. I did reach out to Aaron Hurst, who is the forester up at Roaring Brook Wildlife Management area, and he said that actually the Fish and Wildlife was asked Hayden to get in touch with me to say the deal was off. So they are out on this. The land is owned by Park Forestry New York LLC, and the mailing address is in Stamford, Connecticut. So the landowner prefers to have this conserved, but they will sell it whether it's conserved or not. They're just trying to find a way to get it conserved. So Hayden asked me if I would approach the rec department and see if they wanted to add it on to the town forest. So if you look at your map, you can see that the town forest actually has a parcel of land that's not connected to the main part of the town forest. And it's this little brown spot on your map. That's owned by the town forest. The green is state land, and then the orange is Charles Hill. And that's very visible if you're on I have a slightly different map if you want to see it.
That's okay, I'm just gonna make, it's awful small.
So this is the parcel, and if you look at the golfing course that the rec has set up, their numbers go directly to the view of Charles Hill. So that's the land we're talking about. Yeah, that's
for
the
tax
elevation.
purposes. That's
Okay.
unlisted.
Nice. So I just did another look at a suggestion that was given to me from an organization called Follow the Forest, which is the Houstonic Valley Association. They preserve large core forests, and the University of Connecticut developed a tool for forest fragmentation because of climate change. They're looking at connecting the forests, the large tracts for wildlife movement that's coming our way because of climate change. And so this is one of the depictions of the forest that they've mapped out, and it's all through Vermont is where this heavily impacts.
The green, the dark green. is
The
that
green,
yeah.
the dark green, and Vernon is down in here. And so
Who did that one?
the Connecticut, I sent you the email for the wildlife corridor piece. University of Connecticut developed this in the Follow the Forest. And so this is just showing you where they're anticipating the mass migration of what plant and wildlife coming through due to climate change. And they've mapped out the dense forests in anticipation of that. On their map, they show that Charles Hill, this is their map here, Follow the Forest, that Charles Hill is included in that forest block that they believe needs to be conserved.
Which is Charles.
This is Lily Pond. Sorry, we're headed sideways. I'm almost doing that. Here's Charles Hill,
Oh, okay.
right here. So Charles Hill is included in this dense forest block that they see as a need to conserve for wildlife corridor movement and connectivity. And I don't know if you wanna see that, but, anyone can look at that. And then on this map, I just want to note that this organization has also mapped out the connectivity, the important connectivity between Guilford and Vernon. When you look at all of the layers of maps, they have these ovals, and the ovals show throughout this Hoosick corridor that these are the areas that are most vital for wildlife to cross between our municipalities, I guess, is what you'd call it, in states. The interesting thing is that Hinsdale, New Hampshire is not on this whatsoever. That they don't anticipate the wildlife to go over to New Hampshire. It's gonna come straight up through Vernon and Guilford in this area. Well, I just thought that was curious.
Very young.
Cause I thought that would be a case, but I'm learning all sorts of things. So I reached out to the park department because they are the stewards of the town forest. And I actually reached out 2 or 3 times, on this and another issue. And they didn't respond to whether they'd be interested in purchasing this land and adding it to the town forest. So right now, here's where the land is at. The Fish and Wildlife can't make it happen, nor can the Trust for Public Land can't make it happen. They don't have the funding to do this. And so they just put it out there that if the town was interested in finding a way to conserve this land.
Is the Trust for Public Land the same as Vermont Land Trust?
I think so. It's out of Montpelier. I looked it up today and I don't know enough about it to know if that's the case, but I have all the information written down here for the minutes if you guys want that. So it's just an opportunity or not for the town to pick up 108 acres of land that's been identified by other groups as being important to connecting the forests.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll put this on our mull it through this, because that would take a vote of the town anyway.
There was no questions, we're okay.
So the land is up for sale, is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure I looked to see if it was actively on the market now. My understanding is that it was under contract and they gave up the contract, and so I'm assuming it's going up for sale, if they can't find anyone to conserve it.
One of the things I did when I read about this was I got a topo map to see what increase in elevation there was at the area. And, you know, I'm not an expert on animal migration, but typically when animals migrate, they avoid elevations, and that goes up pretty steep.
From the plateau, yes, but
Yeah.
not from the wildlife management area perspective. I've hiked right up to it. It's actually getting to it before it's beautiful. There's small waterfalls, there's wetland, it's gorgeous. But I haven't actually been on the hill itself. I would love to do that. You were just saying something about the elevation.
Yeah, it changes quite rapidly. If you look at the topo map, the lines are just real close together, which is an indication of a
Yeah.
rapid increase in elevation.
It does, but there's actually taller mountains behind it, or if you want to call them mountains, hills behind it.
Yeah, it does just keep kind of
Yeah.
up.
It's pretty a prominent feature in our area of Vernon. I can see it from my neighborhood, you can see it from the rec, probably down by the horse farm at the right angle, you could see it. So,
I looked at it in relation to ownership around that area, and Sasamo Industries owns for a good sized chunk north of it, and so Dave Emery, excuse me, thank you. Most of the area south of it, so.
there is a logging road that goes to it, which has sent alarm to me. Not that, I mean, I don't mind things get logged, but I was wondering if this was a bound property and no access to it, it might just naturally conserve.
Yeah.
But with that road going to it, that might not be the case. There's an access to it.
It's tricky access to it.
Is it? I haven't been on it.
Believe me. Well, you said you tried to go up to it.
I went from the town forest to Roaring Brook Wildlife Management Area, down the Huckle Hill area and over. That's how I went to it.
Okay, I think we got enough to.
Shelley, do you have any questions? Okay, thank you very much. M&T Bank, business credit card letter. I just need a motion to approve and sign it.
Okay, that's fine, wait.
All right. Can we ask questions about that?
No,
Okay.
ask questions.
You would deal with M&T more than any of us do. What do you think of it?
It was to take the former treasurer off, to put me on as administrator of it, and to issue me a credit card,
Okay,
so that I can keep it open for all the town department heads that have credit cards.
so we're not considering changing banks here, we're just
No,
changing
no.
signatures? Okay.
It's just to change the person that is, the administrator of the credit card.
Gotcha. That's all I have.
Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that effective immediately, sign Catherine Walker as our new primary user on the business credit cards to replace Cindy Turley.
Do we have is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Motion carried. NEMRC cash receipt module and training. You wanna go over that, Sharon?
Okay, so we were visited by the Director of Training and Support for some training on the software, the NEMRC software for finance. There's a module that we do not have, it's called cash receipt, and it simplifies a lot of the transactions, and what it does is it would allow the clerk to put in her transactions, her fees and whatnot directly into the system, which then would shorten and skip a whole step for the treasurer's office. And it also generates a receipt. It is $2,000 to buy the module. There is a couple of hours of training, but then after that, there is no cost.
At a one-time cost
It's a
or
one-time cost.
Yep.
And we have, funds in, I think it's the
Contracts, maintenance, and repair.
and repair to cover that expense.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it does.
Do we have a motion to approve this?
Madam Chair,
Yes, please.
I move that we do the, the cash receipt module with NEMRC, the module and the training for a total of $2,085.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? It carries. Fire Department proposals for the replacement of a RAD 57 meter. Are they here or taking this?
Oh, they've got a big training tonight, like
Okay.
out of town.
Does anybody know what a red 57 meter is? I'm just
It
curious.
detects carbon monoxide levels in the bloodstream.
Oh, okay.
And it appears that their current meter is not functioning. So they sent 3 proposals for consideration.
What did, Alex say what he thought?
And he said he proposed that we overspent from the new EMS equipment account, with the last line being paid in the EMS supplies account.
Yeah, I didn't know if he, if it's, there's a particular one he liked. It seems like it's all the same
He said the cheapest one
module.
was through a company that also does refurbishing, and it's about $1,000 less than the other companies.
That must be the AD.
I see.
I wonder if he felt like that was what he wanted to go with. Seems like it's all the same piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a typo? Do you think
This
he meant
one,
to say Messimo instead of Marino? Just so that it's like,
The machine,
do you think he meant to say Massimo instead of Marino? Because these all look the same to me.
yeah,
they're all machine red 57s.
the,
Same model.
the
Apples to
cheapest
apples.
one doesn't, there's not much information there. It doesn't say that it's new. The other ones do indicate, like, well, one of them says factory new. I wonder if we could give this to Lincoln and explain a little more. Because we're just shooting darts here.
Exactly.
Or no, you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, we'll table that. Fixed asset maintenance agreement. Shelley?
Okay. So when our auditors were here last week, they noted that the fixed asset database and maintenance for a lot of towns is a lot of work. And they offered the service of setting up the whole database in the system and updating it for towns for $650 a year, but there is a $750 setup fee. The amount of time that it takes the staff to spend to go through all the receipts and everything is worth considering. So if you're gonna bring it to the board and you decide. And that would be added on to our expenses for the outside audit.
Do we know nuts and bolts of this system? Do we know where they're storing the information or,
The fixed assets maintenance.
yeah,
The fixed assets, what I do is I go through all the warrants and anything that's over $5,000, I pull the receipts and copy them. And then they have to be entered in to the module and then depreciated each year in order for it to balance out for what the value of all those things are.
okay, so it just
So-
becomes part of the NEMRC database,
Yes,
okay.
So that's how it would function with this module, what you just explained.
yeah, that's how we have the module already.
Oh, okay,
So we're not paying for the module, we already have it.
okay,
It's just that they would do all of the maintenance on it and figuring out the depreciation,
The service.
which is I think a lengthy process. I don't know, I have not ever done it, so I can't tell you.
Yes, because you're talking some of the largest assets, like the town's road. And to go through all of that and depreciate that whole inventory and add in anything that's $5,000 and above. All the invoices, we just send them off to them and they do all of the work.
And they only want $750 to do that?
To set it up and then $650 a year.
that's good, you just hit a button, hit a button, hit a button. No, I mean, if it's a good, right, you've got a good program set up. It sounds like a fine idea.
And it's no rush.
Where are we gonna fund this from? Oh, probably the same place.
I recommend-
Outside audit.
Yes.
What is your pleasure, board?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we contract for this fixed asset database with R.H. Smith and Company for $650 annual charge and $750 setup fee.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So somebody has to sign it. On the tree.
Yeah. Or we authorize the administrator to sign it. Okay.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you for signing it, Shelley.
No worries. I'm covered.
Okay, forest fire warden appointment. We need to reappoint our forest fire warden, which is JJ.
And he's on board with that? Oh. I move that we appoint JJ Wilson, is that how you say his name?
She has the initials anyway. Thank you.
As our town forest fire warden.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion?
That is a term that ends June 30th, 2030.
That's a
Unless
5 year.
he is removed or resigned.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. San Souci agreement,
So, just in this order.
Yes, please. Thank you.
you want to explain the San Souci agreement? Lily?
Sure, so we had previously received an agreement from San Souci for utility assessment, and one of the utilities was left off the original contract. So this is an updated contract with all of them listed. I don't know if you want to, if you need to make another motion to approve the updated contract and sign it, and then I think it's cleaner, and then I can just send that to them.
Yes, sir. Do we have a motion?
Question,
Sure.
so I'm presuming the price changes?
No,
or-
no, price
it's
is the
just-
same, it's just one of them wasn't listed, it was,
Okay.
it's not, is it maybe on telephone? I think it was the telephone utility for the area, the poles and all of that, I think that's the one that was left off,
Okay.
so it's just an updated version.
Gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we sign the updated contract with Sansucci Associates for the same amount of money as the previous contract.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All of us have to sign this too, so we'll sign this one, shall we?
Yes, please, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Admin report.
Okay. Auditors were here last week and obtained all the reports needed to complete the fiscal year 23-24 audit. We now have a list of the required information for the next audit, so we can be more proactive and prepare the reports so that it should only take a few days in advance to prepare the audits as opposed to many weeks. The director in support and training for NEMRC came in April 2nd for some training. Her name is Cynthia. And she recommended an additional day of training for the interim treasurer and potential new treasurer to speed up some of this and probably give a lot of shortcuts on simpler ways of posting the financial transactions. She recommends at least one more day of training. It's $150 an hour. So that's above what I can approve. It's highly recommended. She's also probably going to be the one who do the training on the new module. So there's that to consider. We've been interviewing for the treasurer position. We've had 18 applicants and several interviews, and we hope to be wrapping up that process very soon. The town clerk received a call today regarding the buyback on pay-as-you-throw bags. It's been about 6 months, and would the board like to continue this, or would you like to put a time limit or a deadline on how much longer we're going to buy back the pay-as-you-throw bags? Something to consider. We haven't been contacted in quite a while.
I was gonna say, does anybody send them bags anymore?
No,
No?
it was just a random call today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, somebody will call and ask. Like a week or so ago, somebody did, but they didn't ask about buying them back.
We probably want to know what we're doing with all the bags.
And I said, well, you could use them as just your regular trash bag, so but this person specifically wants to know if we will buy them back and what the process is.
I feel like that ship has sailed. We're out of that budget even, so. I don't think we should be buying back anymore, that has this point.
Make a motion so they've got some,
And did they wanna know what all the others were getting used for? Whatever we had in stock? Cause I've been questioning about that before.
No, he didn't ask that. He just asked about buying them back. He has one roll and 3 large bags. So,
Cleaning out a closet.
And so the program's been done for like 6 months or more, right? So I would move that we are no longer buying back any of our previous page referral trash bags.
do we have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Okay, last thing on my list is, I will be on vacation April 28th through May 2nd. I will be preparing the agenda on May 6th, and if you have any additions to that, I will leave it with the town clerk, so it'll be good to go once the warrant is complete.
may I ask a question about that? I've been confused. I was sending my agenda items to you, but then it was mentioned to me that I should be sending them to Sandra. I'm not really sure who I need to be sending them to.
They always come to me.
To you, thank you. That's why I
Yeah.
changed that up. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
That's all
We
right.
we do talk.
That's right.
Okay. We have 3 executive sessions next on the agenda. We will go into one, we will come out, go into the next, say what we, no actions taken, that's what we say. And so when you go out, you may want to get comfortable,
Oh boy, okay.
okay? So I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session. Say, appointment, is it number 2?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer and employee. And we include the town administrator.
Right, this one.
As well as the interim treasurer,
Do you want for the benefits letter?
the interim treasurer as well,
Okay.
and Mr. Finfay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you would, but hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're done in at 7:08. Okay, we went to executive session at 7:08, came out at 7:13. No action was taken. Jean,
Madam Chair, I move that we sign the benefits letter.
do we have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay.
What do we have to do, percent corrected?
See?
Yes, yeah, I'd have to correct that.
Okay, we can come in and sign.
Okay.
And same crowd? Okay. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we go back into executive session for the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer of employee to include everybody except our erstwhile camera.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are in at 7:15. Okay, we went into executive session at 7:15, came out at 7:30. No action was taken. Mr. Pinkerton,
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we hire Ken Fay with a 3-month probationary period for 32 hours a week at $5,100.
No.
Nope, what'd I miss?
Salary,
What?
that's annual.
Oh,
No, okay.
annual.
5100.
51.
$1,000, I'm sorry.
As,
Oh, as assistant treasurer,
no,
treasurer,
As treasurer, yes.
second.
treasurer.
So the motion has been made to hire Kenneth Fay as treasurer at $51,000 a year,
32 hours.
32 hours a week, and that is, he can set his own hours. Right? Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, do we have any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Welcome,
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh,
glad to have you here.
I'm glad you said that.
We have town administrator performance review, it's just that we need to set a date to have them done by. So how long do you think it's gonna take us to do it this year? 3 or 4 months? No, that's,
June, July,
let's see.
So we usually send to you, right, and you
Yeah.
compile and,
And talk about it,
yeah,
why don't we aim for June, what's a June 10th? Because that's soon enough so we can't lose it. Okay,
do you need that in the form of a motion?
no. Will you do it quicker if it's a motion? Okay. That's the last thing on our agenda. Oh, the cemetery committee has a meeting, so for once, we've had a lot of people interested. And first 7 on the list are the ones that the chair of the cemetery committee has put forward. Shelley, do you want to read that list?
That was the order in which people contacted me, so
Okay.
don't count the top 2.
Yes, that's cut from the bottom. I have Chris Howe, Brana,
Slockerberg.
thank you. Gloria Pinkerton, Ian Eppley, and Sheila, is that Hall?
Hall.
Okay. And those, yeah. And those would be the participants for these people to be appointed. Okay, so these are people to be appointed for the cemetery committee.
Do we have a motion to appoint those?
Can I do that?
Yeah.
I think we make a motion, we appoint everybody on that list to the cemetery committee.
Is there a second?
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
No. Oh my gosh, it's just like you can vote because I can't.
Okay,
I'm on the list.
all right,
Oh,
aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, next regular meeting is May 6th. That's next month. And looking for a motion to adjourn.
I still have one more thing to present to you.
I didn't, go ahead.
I still have one more thing to present.
Okay,
May I do that?
yes.
Great, thank you. So the Northeast Regional Manager for the Old Growth Forest Network, which is a national network, reached out to the Vernon Conservation Commission. And Ian Kiefel invited her to attend one of our meetings. And she would like to add the Black Gum Swamp portion of the municipal forest to the national network of old growth forests. She's noted at the time that Vernon, they have one forest for each county is their goal across the country. And Vernon is a prime example of an old growth forest with excellent stewardship. And they said there was nothing more we had to do to that forest to meet the standards. That the buffers were where they needed to be, everything was exactly how they would like it. It's basically an honor bestowed on us if we choose to accept it. And they would have a ceremony with a plaque at the trailhead should we want that as well. I did reach out to the park, or the rec department, since they are the stewards, and invited them to this meeting. They were unable to come. And I reached out to them after they had it on their agenda, and they said that they don't want to have anything approved that would increase the buffer. Currently, the buffer around that swamp is 100 feet. They just want to make sure it doesn't have to be increased to the 300 that was proposed earlier. I reached back out to them. I explained to them that that's, not the case, and would they get back in touch with me, and I did not hear back from them. I looked in their minutes, and that's all they mentioned in their minutes as well. Are there any questions about that?
Any questions for it?
Is that the letter we had from Seth?
Yeah.
He was under the impression it was 50 feet? 50 feet, not
Yeah.
100.
It's a class 2, so it would be, 50 to 100. My understanding is 100. All right, so that's something that would.
Yeah, that's questionable, because I remember walking that area several years ago. I can't even remember exactly all the reason, but I do know at the time that Seth was very concerned with the size of the buffers, because he did not want to interrupt the trail system that was already there.
Yes, and the thing about the buffers is that there is a grandfather component to that.
Okay.
I don't want to speak to the whole situation, but at that time, there was a proposal to make the Black Gum Swamp a class 1.
Yeah.
Which would have put a 300-foot buffer on there. I can reach back out to Sarah, who is the Northeast Regional Manager, and ask her. She said everything the way it is acceptable. I'm unsure if she knows that it's 50 feet and not 100. And I think that bears looking into, because I think a minimum it would be 100.
Well, it just, I think from Seth's view, it impacted the recreation use of the area, which is
Okay.
probably what people trying to protect the area want to do, but there are trails already there.
Right.
The way it's laid out.
Yeah, and she clearly said, because, Jim was at the meeting, she clearly said at the meeting that the way it is now is acceptable. They're very impressed with the way that it is maintained as it is now. So my question is, would we like to accept this honor, which I feel would bring a boost to our economy here at free advertising of the town for having this mentioned in their registry.
How soon do you have a deadline that you have to answer?
I do not have a deadline. She was hoping sometime in June, maybe a ceremony then. I was trying to combine the ceremony with a walkthrough with our county forester for our invasive pest project for the hazard mitigation. But they don't seem to be able to, I can't get all 3 entities coordinated enough to get all that to happen on the same day. I really did try.
I just asked because the buffer seems unclear.
Right.
And I don't want to say, I understand what you're saying, that they're saying it's fine as it is,
Mm-hmm.
but there seems to be 2 different impressions about what that is.
So
I would
who
feel
would
better
have
from you.
that information? Should I reach out to the state, or should I reach out to, I don't know who to reach out to. I don't know who is,
Yes, and trucks they're the stewards of them.
David?
Didn't we go through some of this back when the state was getting involved?
Yes.
Yeah,
Seth still might have some of that paperwork.
Yeah, I for one would like it very clearly spelled out. I'm not gonna just say, yes, let's do it. I need something written to adhere to on this, because I don't wanna accept this honor and then be asked to change things from the way they are right now.
Jim, at the meeting, did you read under the impression that any of that would happen?
No, it was more an honorary appointment, recognizing that they, at appointment time, accepted the way we were dealing with that section of land.
Did they write that, did they write it in the meeting or just talk?
Yeah.
About it? Was there a written
I'm
thing?
pretty sure
brought?
they just talked, she has talked about that, because several people brought it up, talked about it, on whether or not we'd have to change if there was a difference in how they define that and how we define it.
okay, why don't we put this on for May 9th,
Could it be as simple as
May
just
6th?
contacting the person who came to the meeting?
Well, I did,
Asking that they write a proposal for the,
yeah, I did, well, I forwarded this to all involved with the oldgrowthforest.net, website, so people could look at that. I don't know if anyone had the chance to do that.
You forwarded it to us?
Yes. I forwarded it to Shelley, and, it's in our minutes, our Conservation Commission minutes as well.
Did not get it.
So this was dated March 27th, that's when I sent this off to you.
March 27th, I'll have to look and see.
But that's okay, that's here nor there, I mean, I'm not trying to push anything, I'm a little surprised because this seemed like a win-win-win for the town.
But
The only
buffer
thing would be if
question-
they,
The
yeah,
buffer question needs to be done for
Mm-hmm.
right.
Okay,
Cause there's been,
yeah.
that's
I'm
been a
not
squishy
saying-
line before.
I'm not saying it's not a win, I just don't want it to cause an issue for the rec department as well,
I've really
because we're
been
not
trying
clear.
to communicate with them, but I can't
Yeah.
get anyone to respond to me. That's not a reflection on them, everyone's busy, but I haven't been able to, but I'll be happy to pursue that some more unless one of you would like to pursue that, I could reach out to A&R and see what they have, or I would feel more comfortable if it came from Seth, honestly.
Maybe I can talk to Seth. And he may have it in his records from.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
see you on the 6th. Okay, now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's non-debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are out of here at 7:44.